Hello everyone, this is Carly at Crafting with Class, and today I have another Father's Day video to share with you. So this is a card that I have created, and it is, I think, so cute with the little mustache and glasses. I think it's very appropriate. So let's get our supplies ready and get started. So first I'm going to be using primarily this stamp set from Fawn called Dad+Me. I'm also using the Mom+Me, but just the little grass at the coordinating die cuts. And then I'm also going to be using this Woodgrain background stamp. Because I want a mirror image, I'm also going to be using the mirror image stamp because I want a mirror image of the little moose. Alright, so to get started, I'm going to use that background stamp to create a frame, or for the part that will be the frame. I'm using the watermark ink pad to create just that, a watermark, which is pretty much taking or pulling the color from the cardstock, so it looks like you stamped it in the color of the cardstock. Now, don't ask me why I'm using a acrylic mount with the Misty right there. I needed a nap. It was nap time and I didn't take it. So anyway, I'm stamping the moose, and then I'm going to stamp the little moose, and I'm also going to do the mirror image, which I did off camera because I was trying different things and I already thought the video was just way too long. So there you see all my attempts, and so I ended up choosing one using my Copic multi-liner, and then now I'm stamping the mountain range, and this is Crumb Cake ink. So now I'm going to stamp the little glasses and mustache, and I'm going to stamp it in chocolate brown hybrid ink from MFT, which is my go-to ink for Copic coloring, and just really any kind of medium just works on most things. And then I'm also stamping it in black licorice, which is my black go-to ink. And I wasn't sure which one I was going to use, so that's why I did one of each color. So now I'm showing you some quick coloring, nothing fancy, Copic coloring for the moose. And so this video was already really long, so I kind of sped up the coloring process quite a bit. So you're going to see how I colored the moose and then the little baby moose. And I just showed one since I pretty much did the same thing with the other little moose. So we have the colors that I used on the top left, so E55, E57, and E59 as my darkest color. So then I use the coordinating dies to go ahead and cut out all the images. And I usually put them on a little piece of cling wrap. I decided to stamp out some of those little grass patches, and so I'm stamping them in wild wasabi and pistachio pudding, and then I just stamped a whole bunch because I wasn't sure which ones I was going to use, but then I went ahead and die cut them. Now I am using these new Brushos, for me new Brushos, and my friend Lisa created such a beautiful card using the Brushos, so I really wanted to give it a try. So I have watercolor cardstock here, and I sprayed it with water, and now I'm using the lime green, and I'm just sprinkling the bottom of it, and I have a little tiny hole at the top, which is why I'm kind of putting, it seems like a lot, but it really is not. And this is such a beautiful, look at how it spreads. Oh my goodness, this is so pretty, and it's absolutely effortless and very organic. And I don't usually do well with unplanned, type A things, but this is just so pretty, and I really love the way it came out and how super simple and organic the process was. So this was my first time really using this, and so I was trying, I knew what I wanted in my mind. I wanted like a grassy field at the bottom and a beautiful sky at the top, very nature scene. And so I'm going to let that air dry, and I'm going to not mess with this anymore. So there it is after it dried. Isn't it so neat? It's just so pretty. So I took that wood grain backdrop, and so I'm using this die from MFT's Blueprints 29, and it leaves a stitched edge along, which is what I wanted. So I wanted to create kind of a frame, and so I was going to just adhere, but then I decided it looked nice with a little bit of dimension, and so I went ahead and added some of my foam tape on this ginormous roll to the back of the frame so that it would stand up from the the background. Okay, so and I think, oh, that looks really pretty, almost like a window looking out onto beautiful you know pictures of nature out there. So I decided I knew I wanted to stamp my sentiment that was going to go on the outside, so I better do that before I adhere everything down. So I mounted the Dad stamp and then inked it up with the black licorice MFT ink, and then I stamped it kind of where I wanted it, and I was hoping that it was going to stamp well because I forgot to take out my MISTI, and thankfully it did. And so now I'm going to be stamping the sentiment, which reads, "Your jokes are always amusing," and that also stamped well, so I was very happy about that. So now I can go ahead and remove the backing paper from the foam tape and adhere it on top of that Brusho background. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and take a cardstock piece, which is going to be my base, and I'm going to score it at 4 1/4 to create this landscape base. I'm going to add adhesive to the back and then go ahead and adhere it on top of my card base. Okay, so now I'm pulling all my little pieces and deciding kind of where I want things, and I keep them on this press and seal so that I don't lose any of the pieces, and it does help to kind of lay everything out so I can see what everything, and kind of helps me to plan where I want things. So I adhere the mountain range, and then I'm using foam adhesive again to pop up the little Dad, and as you can see I adhered the little glasses and mustache with a little bit of foam also, so it would pop off from his face a little bit. I'm also using foam tape on the little moose, and then I'm going to go ahead and adhere straight onto the card the little patches of grass. And I'm using my tweezers to kind of help me, because they're tiny little pieces, and so to help me position them and pull them down, and that's pretty much the front of the card. And so now I'm going to work on the inside of the card. So I have a panel that I've die cut from the Stitch Rectangles die from the basic set from Mama Elephant, and now I'm going to go ahead and stamp the inside sentiment, which is just Happy Father's Day, and I'm going to be using chocolate brown MFT ink again. So I'm going to ink it up, and then I didn't use my MISTI, and so hopefully it will stamp straight and clear, and I kind of smushed it maybe a little, so it wasn't perfect, but oh well, I need to remember to use my MISTI. So now these are the little leftover pieces that I had, so I went ahead and decided to use them on the inside of my card. So I like where the little grass is at, so I'm going to go ahead and adhere that. I wanted to use a little glasses with the nose, but I wasn't sure exactly where I wanted that, but I knew I wanted the grass there, so I went ahead and adhered that. Now, I thought about tucking in the little glasses behind the grass so they'd kind of be peeking, but then I kind of felt that might be a little creeper, you know, some creeper looking through the bushes. So I said, nah, I don't like it there. But I did like the way that it looked kind of to the left of the sentiment, Happy Father's Day. So I went ahead and adhered it there. So now I'm going to go ahead and add adhesive with my ATG gun to the back and adhere it to the inside of my card. Okay, so there it is. There's the front and then the inside of the card. And I think it's a really fun Father's Day card, especially for a dad who's really funny. Thanks so much for watching, subscribing, and liking. You can find more information on my blog, craftingwithclass.blogspot.com. Thanks again, and I will see you next time. Bye.